The United States and Turkey are now at loggerheads, as first components of the Russian S400 missile defense system have started reaching Turkey from the 12th of July. The delivery is taking place as planned, and we'll see more consignments reaching Turkey in the coming days. Turkey's defense ministry tweeted a photo of the Russian transport plane carrying the air defense hardware at the airbase on the outskirts of Ankara and stated, "The 12th plane landed at the Mürted Airbase." Viewers may note that Turkey's President Erdogan had said on July 15th that all S400 defense missiles will be deployed by April 2020. It's reported that U.S. Acting Defense Secretary Mark Esper had a discussion with his Turkish counterpart Hulusi Akar by phone. The details of the conversation have not been divulged by the Pentagon. However, Turkish Defense Minister said that he told his U.S. counterpart that Turkey remains under a serious air of missile threat and that purchase of S-400 defense systems was not an option but rather a necessity. The U.S. House of Representatives Foreign Affairs Committee stated that Turkey's President Erdogan was given a very clear choice. Unfortunately, he's clearly made the wrong one, referring to the U.S. offer to sell Turkey the U.S.-made Patriot missile system instead. U.S. President Donald Trump indicated on Tuesday the U.S. will not sell Turkey F-35 fighter jets. Trump told reporters during a cabinet meeting at the White House, "It's a very tough situation that they're in, and it's a very tough situation that we've been placed in, the United States. It's not clear as of now if the U.S. will impose sanctions on Turkey." In this video, Defense Updates reports on the implications of Turkey getting S-400 delivery from Russia. Let's get into the details. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer all Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank or aircraft and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. S-400 Triumph is an anti-aircraft weapon system developed by Russia's Almaz Central Design Bureau in the 1990s as an upgrade of the S-300 family. It's been in service with the Russian Armed Forces since 2007. It's designed to defend against aircraft, including fifth-generation stealth fighters, bombers, AWACS, cruise missiles, and ballistic missile. It's considered one of the most powerful anti-aircraft defense systems in the world. Russian S-400 air defense is a package consisting of radar, command and control center, and interceptor missiles. S-400 can track hundreds of targets at a time, engage up to 36 targets in parallel, and simultaneously launch 72 missiles. The system has powerful hardware integrated with state-of-the-art software in the back end. S-400 uses multiple radars depending on threat perception. The primary one is either the 91 N6E Big Bird Acquisition and Battle Management Radar or 92 N6E Gravestone Multi-Mode Engagement Radar. These have a range of around 600 kilometers or around 370 miles. The main radar is complemented by target acquisition radars like 67 N6 Gamma D and 9 N6 Protivnik G radars in L-band, Nebo SVU in the very high frequency band, and Nebo M and Zebu M in multiband. Nebo SVU and Zebu M is touted to have the ability to detect stealth aircraft. S-400 deploys multiple missiles to cover its strike envelope. One short-range 9M96E, 40 kilometers, with an active radar homing head, having the capability to intercept targets having a speed of up to Mach 2.6. 2. medium-range 9M96E2 120 kilometers with an active radar homing head having the capability to intercept targets up to a speed of Mach 3. 3. Long-range 48N6 250 kilometers with an active radar homing head having the capability to intercept targets up to a speed of Mach 14. 4. Very long-range 40N6 400 kilometers with an active radar homing head having the capability to intercept targets up to a speed of Mach 14. Turkey has more than 100 F-35s on order. It's already received 2 F-35s. Not only this, being one of the major partners, it's responsible for the production of certain components of F-35 and will also provide maintenance support to other European customers of the jet. Turkish companies are responsible for 937 parts used to build the F-35, and 400 of these are solely sourced from Turkish firms. It's to be noted that Turkey is not only an important player in the F-35 program, but is also an important NATO member. NATO is a bloc formed mainly to defend against the Soviet Union. Keeping this aspect into consideration, there are 3 main reasons for the opposition of S-400. 1. NATO as an organization like to have interoperability, so the Russian system will be out of place and reduce tactical flexibility. 2. When Turkey operates the jets in the airspace, which is monitored by S-400, S-400 will be able to gather technical data, such as radar signature of F-35s. This could potentially pass on to Russian hands and could undercut the main advance of F-35s, that's stealth. 3. S-400 will be hooked to Turkish air defense as part of integrated air defense setup. This could be major security breach, as having the S-400 linked into Turkish defense networks could potentially give Russian analysts access to sensitive information that passes through the cloud-based Multinational Autonomic Logistics Information System (ALIS) system of the F-35s. ALIS has critical mission data and flight routes. Many important people have expressed reservation when it comes to F-35 sales to Turkey if it acquired S-400. U.S. Army General Curtis Scaparrotti, the head of U.S. forces in Europe, told a Senate Armed Services Committee, "My best military advice would be that we don't then follow through with the F-35s, flying it or working with an ally that's working with Russian systems, particularly air defense systems, with what I would say is probably one of the most advanced technological capabilities." NATO Allied Air Command General Todd Walters had stated, "Anything that an S-400 can do that affords it the ability to better understand a capability like the F-35 is certainly not to the advantage of the coalition." In a conflict between NATO and Russia, these two systems will play a vital role and will certainly come face to face. F-35s are designed to penetrate heavily guarded airspace, whereas S-400 is designed to protect the airspace against sophisticated aerial threats. It's to be noted that Turkey had repeatedly asked for Patriot air defense system from the US, but was rejected by Obama administration. The Patriot PAC-3 is being offered to it now, but Turkey is no longer interested in it. Erdogan was quoted by NTV as saying, "One S-400 is worth 3 Patriots. If the conditions are equal to the S-400 deal, we would buy Patriots, but if they are not, then we have to think of our interests." Mr. Erdogan had reasons to say this, and viewers can check the analysis from the video in the above card. This is a military deal, but it has important political ramifications. It's likely that a wedge will be drawn in NATO, and Turkey may get aligned more towards Russia. There's already talks between Turkey and Russia about possible fighter jet deal. There are reports of Turkey going for Su-35 or Su-57. Another implication is that if Turkey gets away with the S-400 deal without any sanctions, It could possibly lead to other NATO members taking up the same route, where they're buying the military equipment from rivals. This could in turn not only mean more tactical chaos, but in the long term could hurt the US military industry as it will lose out on orders. It remains to be seen how things pan out going forward.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.